Hello everybody and welcome for our special Mother's Day yoga. Thank you for joining me. I'd like you to find a comfortable seated position on your mat, and for some of you might like a blanket or a pillow just to prop up the bottom and keep the hips just a little higher than the knees, and just come to find that comfortable space, ensuring the surroundings around you are nice and quiet. And you're giving yourself permission for the next half an hour to find some time just for yourself. We've dedicated this practice to all the mothers in the world, to the mothers that have been before us, our own mothers, grandmothers, and also to ourselves if we aren't a mother yet. So finding a comfortable space for your sit bones to sit, take a few moments to get the wiggles and giggles out of the way, and just rolling back through those shoulders, releasing any tension that you may have here, softening and wettening through the lips, and give the jaw a little wiggle side to side. And we'll just close down through the eyes, maybe even squeezing them closed a little tighter, and then softening so we allow the brow just to feel nice and comfortable. Begin to bring your awareness to your own breath. And begin to tune in to the noises around you. Noticing all the sounds that you can hear from afar or nice and close. And then really bring that awareness inwards as you listen to your own breath. And just noticing, acknowledging how that breath is sounding to you. Is it nice and slow and steady? Or is it a little bit faster than normal? Our aim is to slow down the breath, to slow down the body, to slow down the mind. Good. Keeping the hands so that we're pressing the palms, the fingertips on top of the knees, just to ground ourselves for a moment. And I just want you to feel the body parts that are connecting to the earth, the sides of the feet, maybe the knees, the shins, the sides of the legs, up into the sit bones that are connecting with the ground or with your cushion or bolster. And from those sit bones, I want you to feel the length coming up through the spine, all the way through to the crown of the head here. Feel as though you're being drawn up to the sky, and you're finding that length. And let's take a moment to lengthen the breath. So if you're finding you're coming to a 2 or 3 count inhale, see if you can take it for 1 count more. Or just notice how the breath enters the body, maybe in through the nose, filling up the lungs and then the belly. And then releasing from the belly, the chest, and then through the nose. Allowing that prana, the new breath into the body. And as you exhale, you're ridding the body of something that no longer is serving you. It could be a thought, the empty breath, or just a feeling within the body. Ensuring that you're softening through the face. And if you find the mind is wandering just slightly, we'll bring that awareness between the eyes to the brow area known as our third eye. Bring that internal gaze to the third eye, keeping your awareness into the room, into your body, and onto your mat. If you just bring the awareness to the shoulders, we're allowing a softening of the shoulders down and away from the ears. Maybe even gentle little squeeze of the shoulder blades towards each other, so you can lengthen across that collarbone. Good. Now I'd like you to breathe into the heart space, really filling up those lungs and releasing. Beautiful. Let's take our awareness to a big belly breath as we breathe in and out through the belly. And just notice on the exhalation breath how that belly button draws itself towards the spine, ridding the body of the breath. And let's bring our awareness to our pelvic floor area through our sit bones. And we breathe down into the earth. Sending that exhalation breath all the way down to the earth. See if you notice a bit of warmth that enters the body through your legs, your bottom. Good, and then a nice few breaths that come from those sit bones all the way up the spine through the crown of the head. Beautiful. Begin to turn the lips up into a smile. And just noticing if you found a little bit of calmness from just taking these few minutes of breath work. I'd like you to bring your hands to heart center into the prayer mudra. All 10 fingers are touching and the thumbs are just resting on the sternum. Taking a moment to set an intention for your practice today. You might like to share your practice, maybe with your own mother, past or present, maybe with a child, or the child that you envy and hope for. Sending that love out into the universe. We'll bring the hands to vigorously rub together, finding some nice warmth. I'd like you to gently just open through the eyes. And place those warm palms on your own heart. And I'd like you to feel the heartbeat. Feel the breath rise and fall into the hands. Beautiful. And one last big deep breath here. And release. I'm going to interlace the fingers at heart center and elbows raised just a little bit higher. As you press those fingers out towards me, lower chin to chest here. Tune in to the sit bones, the length of the spine, and you're pressing the knuckles towards me. Good. Return that neck to neutral. Hands come back to heart center and we'll raise the arms up, drawing them up nice and strong. Feeling that breath all the way from the hip bones, all the way through the side body. And now gently bring that gaze up if that feels okay for you to the fingers. Lengthening, enjoying that full breath. Good, soften through the shoulders, turn the palms and press the palms away. So you're feeling more of an awareness to the forearms now. That gaze can come back up to the fingers. Or keep the neck neutral. Remembering this is your practice, so whatever feels good within your own body. Good. One last breath here. Again, soften through the shoulders, turn those hands back around. We'll bring the hands back to heart center. One more time, extending, inhaling out through the hands. Hands come back to heart center on the exhale. Let's sweep the hands behind the lower back, interlacing down near the buttocks. And then open through that chest, so you're lengthening. Good, nice drawing of the shoulder blades back. Invite that chin to come down towards the chest. And awareness here through the belly, through that core strength, the solar plex, the sacral chakra area. One last breath, releasing that bind, and we'll bring the fingertips down to the earth. Good, pressing through the hands. Some of you might choose to change that leading leg and foot, sitting back in Sukhasana, allowing the knees to come down and away. And if it's too uncomfortable, see if you can stay here for around 5 breaths. Trick that mind into accepting the different position. I'd like you to keep the left fingers pressing down into the earth as you raise that right hand up. Draw up nice and tall here. Good, deep breath in. And as you exhale over the side, placing that left palm to the earth, softening through the left elbow. This top upper arm, just take a gaze up to the fingers. Good, is coming in line with the ear as much as we can. And then we allow a softening with the breath. Good, if it feels better to lower the gaze to the bottom hand, take that option within the neck. Beautiful, pressing down evenly through the sit bones, and you should feel a beautiful release side stretch. Good, one last deep breath in, and we'll transition over. Press that air away with the palm to the opposite side. Inhale, draw up through the left hand, nice and tall. And then exhale over to your right. Good. Take that gaze up, looking to the top hand. Softening through that right elbow as you release to the side stretch. Good. One more breath. And let's release that hand over to the side. Let's come to a flow, linking with the breath. So inhale the right hand up. Exhale over. Good. Inhale back up, changing sides. Exhale to soften over. Good. One more time each side. Inhale up. To release. Good. Exhale. And soften. Beautiful. Return to that nice, comfortable seated position. We'll bring the hands out in front, bringing your awareness to your thumbs, known as the drishti gaze. Pressing the palms forward. We'll take an inhale. Exhale, fingertips come down to the earth. Good. Inhale up, spreading, lengthening through the hands. Exhaling down. Good, as you come back up this time, rolling into fists, so nice and tight through the fingers, and then roll the wrists inwards for a moment, feeling a release through those forearms. And then as you come back, we'll open out just slightly to where it feels comfortable, coming back in, and then releasing out. Good, bringing the hands back through heart center. 4 more breaths in this seated position. We're going to raise and gather that air up as we bring the palms up to the prayer mudra above the head. Exhale, bring the thumbs along the forehead, nose, lips, chin and chest. And then release. So you might be just holding the breath here for a moment. So gather the air, inhaling up. Exhale deeply, nice length here. And suspend the breath as you bring the hands back. Good, one last time, reaching up. And exhale down. Beautiful. Let's come over into all fours position. So just moving your props out of your way, your blanket, your cushion. I want you to take the all fours position and just check that your knees are in line with your hips. Your wrist, elbows and shoulders are in alignment. You're spreading through the hands. Good, we'll take a cat position here. So as we exhale up, we tuck the chin, really lengthening the spine towards the ceiling. Inhale as you invite that new breath in, lower the belly, gently looking forward with the neck position. Good, link it with your own breath now. Exhaling and inhaling. Good, as long as you're breathing here, there's no right or wrong. Within the breath, you're pressing through the tops of the feet, feeling that connection through the hands, the knees. Beautiful, one last time, so beautiful lower back release. We're going to take it back to a modified child pose. So we bring the big toes to touch, even separate the knees even wider to the edges of the mat and sink that bottom back. We extend the hands out in front and we bring the forehead to the earth. So if it's not meeting the ground, take a block or a pillow here. Soften as you press through the hands, allow the bottom to sink back towards the heels. A few more breaths. Child pose is a beautiful rest pose, a reconnection with our breath. We feel the length from the crown of the head all the way down the spine to the sit bones. Beautiful, one more breath here. Taking it back up and finding that all fours neutral position. Perhaps even shifting to the front of your mat. Good, we're going to bring the right foot out behind us, pressing through the toes, the heel. Good, checking in with those hands that they're in alignment with the shoulders. And enjoying the release through that calf and hamstring. Let's take a little rock into that left knee. Just coming forward and back through the right toes, engaging here through the bottom of the plantar fascia, through that right foot. We're taking this position just to prep for our down dog. Good. Soften here and we're going to raise up that right foot so it's in line with the hip, taking a flexion or a point through that back foot. Good. Press through that right hand and we'll extend the left hand and the gaze nice and long. Good. Holding for one more breath. Returning everything back down to the floor. A little roll of the wrist if you need. Coming to the left side so the left foot comes out behind. And we're pressing through the toes. Feeling a release through the calves, the hamstring. Check in with those wrists. And when you're ready, take a little rock into that right knee. Just a gentle forward and back motion. So you'll notice our practice today is nice and gentle. We're being kind to our body. Good, releasing here. Lifting that left foot up, take a little point and flex. Draw into those belly muscles here as you press through the left hand. Extend the right hand and the gaze nice and long. Good, should feel a beautiful warmth coming into the body. We'll take one more breath and we'll lower that hand and the knee back to the earth. Tuck through the toes here and I want you to bring the weight back into the heels. Good, come back up to all fours. Shift the hand placement forward. I'm going to take a little hip flexor here as we lift the toes. Come back, tuck through the feet. Press the bottom back. Coming back and then lifting those knees if that feels okay. Pressing the hips forward. Good, one last time. Sink the heels back. Taking it forward, and you can leave the toes here and just press the hips or lift up, whatever feels good for you. And then take it back down to the all fours, returning those hands back under the shoulders. Good, we're going to take our first downward dog, but in 3 stages. So we're going to lift those knees just off the ground. I call this turbo dog. Keeping those knees and then finding your yogic breath here. You'll feel a beautiful warmth come into the body. It's a little challenging, so if you need to lower down, do so. And then bring that bottom back so you're in a nice crouching position. Good. Press through those hands so you're really engaging through the forearms, upper arms. And then lift the hips nice and high into your preferred down dog length. Maybe pedaling through your feet for a moment. Lengthening through both the legs. Good, settling so both heels are coming towards the earth. Your head's in line with your forearms. And you're lifting the hips nice and high, gazing through the feet. Good, let's take a moment just to come tall on the toes. Bring some weight into those wrists. And then reach the hips high, sink the heels back into your down dog. Beautiful. Little bend of the knees back into that crouching position. We'll reverse the way we came in. Shift that weight forward into the hands. We lower the knees towards the earth. Take the knees down to the ground. Child pose of your choice. So the knees can be together or nice and wide apart. Good. 2 more breaths here. One last breath. We'll come back up through a downward dog here. Lifting up nice and high. Sink the heels back and just shake that head yes and no. Just looking to either side or under the armpit. Releasing any tension. We'll bend through the knees and slowly walk the feet towards the hands. Finding a nice forward fold position. Good. Allow the fingertips to hang nice and heavy. Good. We're tucking that chin towards the chest. And you might invite the hands to come around the back of the thighs or holding through a toe bind or fingers under the toes. Whatever feels good for you to begin to find some length through the back of the legs. Good. Even massaging through the back of the legs. If it's a morning practice for you, you might find that you're a little bit cold through the legs. Beautiful. Take a little half lift here, either fingertips to the earth as you press forward or hands all the way to the shins and you lengthen through that lower back. Good, release back to the forward fold. Bend the knees and I want you to gather that air as you sweep the hands all the way up to standing. And then begin to bring the hands through heart center and back down beside you. Beautiful, we're coming to a nice standing flow. So checking in with your stance. Tadasana stance could either be big toes together or hip distance apart, whatever feels good for you. Checking in with all 10 toes that we're placing them down through the mat. Gentle little bend of the knees. I want you to draw those kneecaps up into the thighs. Slight tilt of that pelvis forward. Some awareness through the solar plexus, some lengthening across the collarbone, and feel like you've got a ball underneath those arms. So you're finding a little bit of length here in the mountain pose. Lifting that chin ever so slightly and then feeling as though that piece of string is drawing you up through the crown of the head. I invite you to close your eyes here. And take 3 breaths here, grounding through the feet. Filling up that heart space with the breath. And either sending that exhalation breath all the way down to the toes or out through the crown of the head. We soften the shoulder blades down and back. Moisten the lips and soften through the jaw. And if you feel as though you're holding tension through the brow, squeeze those eyes. Allow a little release here. One last deep breath and then we'll blink open the eyes. Beautiful. Take an inhale as we gather that air, bringing the palms together. The Prem Mudra above the head. Exhale, come down through heart center. Take a little forward fold here. Fingertips come towards the earth. Invite that half lift in. Exhale, bend the knees, and then we'll sweep the hands all the way up to standing. Good. Exhale through heart center. Begin back into the mountain pose. Good. One cleansing breath. Inhale in to exhale. Beautiful. Gather that air. Inhale up. Exhale comes through heart center. Begin to tilt at the waist. Forward fold. Half lift. Weight is into the toes here. Exhale. Bend the knees. Sweep the hands up. Gather that air. Through the heart space. You can run the thumbs along the nose, lips, chin and chest. And reach out. Good. One last time. Inhale up. Exhale, release to the forward fold. Soften through those knees. Good. Straighten through the legs, lengthen for half lift.
Release back to the forward fold, bend the knees, gather the air.
Good. Hands come through heart center and just stay here for a moment or two. Check back in with the toes. We'll add a little variation to that posture. Good. One cleansing breath, roll the shoulders back and down. Inhale up. Release to the forward fold.
Good. Half lift. Exhale, release, bend the knees, sweep the hands forward this time into chair pose.
I'll come on the side view for you. Feet are hip distance apart or knees touching. We're sinking the bottom back. Arms can be nice and high. You can bring them down in line with the shoulders, palms facing down to the earth. Good. Take a breath here. See if we can sink just a little lower. One more breath and bring those hands to heart center. Release to the forward fold.
Good. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Bend the knees, gather that air.
All the way up. Hands come through heart center. And release. Let's come to a reverse action with the hands. So we have the hands out to the side. We're going to bring those palms together, coming up, reaching nice and tall. We'll swan dive forward this time. Hands come out, bend the knees.
Forward fold. Half lift. Exhale, bend the knees, sweep the hands a little bit further behind as you reach forward into chair pose. Lovely. One more breath here. Bring the hands to heart center. We'll take a little twist this time. Right elbow comes towards the left thigh, either connecting or sitting just above. And we look to that left elbow. One more breath. Come back through center. Little lift of the toes if you need a release. Come to the opposite side. Looking to that right elbow or the opposite elbow. Good. One more breath. Come back through center. Beautiful. Forward fold is the release. Chin comes towards chest. Half lift here. Exhale, release. Forward fold. And then I want you to roll up nice and slowly. We'll gather the air, whatever feels good for you. Roll back through those shoulders. Good. One last time. So if you prefer to come up with the hands, reaching up. Good. Swan dive forward. Forward fold. Half lift here. Exhale, release, bend the knees, sweep the hands forward. Good. I'll take the side view here for this one. So we're sinking the bottom back. I want you to reach those hands back. Gather the air, bring it forward. Reaching back. And then gather that air. Good. Little challenge here is to come onto the toes. Sinking that bottom down. We're going to take it all the way down into the squat position if that feels okay for you. Taking 2 more breaths. Little further challenges to bring the hands behind the lower back. Open through that chest. Good. If you need to lower to the knees, please do so. And then we'll take the hands down to the ground. Come back into that all fours. Take 2 rounds of the cat-cow. Good. One last breath. And across through the ankles, sink the bottom back and come on to the buttocks, extending those legs out in front. So some of you might choose to bring a strap into your practice, or a bathrobe, or a belt, whatever feels good for you. I want you to bring those hands beside the hips. You're feeling that magnetic pull up through the crown. Rolling back through the shoulder blades, and just take a little point of the toes forward. We shift the hands 1 full hand distance back. Bring some weight back into the fingers. Press that chest forward. Good. If it feels comfortable, you could lift up through the buttocks. Nice up plank here. And then lower the bottom back. We'll take a little forward fold just for a moment or two, just to wherever you may fall. Gaze comes towards the knees. Good. And then we roll back up, nice and slowly. We're going to take those 2 options again. So hands come back, either pressing the toes forward, just lifting lifting and shining that heart up towards the sky. Or if it feels good, lift up through the hips, press those toes away, lengthening through the front of the body. And then chin comes to chest as you lower back down. Before we take that forward fold, let's move that fleshy goodness out and back. Reach up nice and tall. Release forward to the forward fold. And I'd like you to bind, whether that's through the shins, the ankles, through the sides of the feet, or even through a toe bind. And then take a gaze towards the toes. Inhale. Exhale, soften the knees down towards the head, down towards the knees. The backs of the legs is pressing into the earth. I'm going to take 5 breaths here in the forward fold. So just surrendering, allowing some relaxation into this posture. Good. 2 final breaths here, so you may gaze forward towards the toes, lift through that chest and sink just a little bit more. Good. 1 last breath. We'll roll up nice and slowly. Good. Soften through those shoulders. I'm going to come down onto the ground, so we bend the knees, coming down through the forearms. And allow the feet to become hip distance apart here. Palms are resting down on the earth. And you're allowing from the tailbone all the way through to the spine to connect with your mat. Taking a little windshield side to side with the knees. Beautiful. The feet can be close or further apart. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together into what's known as reclined Baddha Konasana. So the toes and the heels touch, the knees take a nice opening out to the side. Taking a few pulses here for a moment. Good. Allow the hands to open out to the side so you're resting on the back of the hands. There's a slight gap underneath that underarm. Beautiful. I love reclined Baddha Konasana. I feel it's a beautiful heart opener. Inner thigh release. So keeping the hands where they are, or you might choose to bring the hands onto the lower belly, connecting with the breath, with the rise and the fall. Or for some of you might create that little halo above the head, coming to hold opposite elbows. And we're really breathing through our side body here. Beautiful. 2 more big breaths here. Gently bringing those hands back beside the hips. Allow the knees to come together, and then we'll draw the knees into the chest, giving ourselves a hug and a gentle rock, side to side. We're going to take our final posture, which is Shavasana. I'm going to take you through a nice little guided Shavasana here. So extend those legs nice and long, or bring a cushion under your head, a blanket over the body, whatever you're needing. Take those last few moments to find some stillness here. Ensuring that you've got a slight separation of the feet, and we allow the toes to fall out to the side. Maybe lifting one foot off the ground, pressing it back down, and then the other. And we allow the length of the legs just to soften and melt into the mat. A slight rock of the hips to allow that lower back and the hips to soften. And just following each vertebrae up the spine, all the way to the neck, all the way to the crown of the head. Good, maybe rolling the fingers into little fists just for a moment, and then a softening as you open the palms out. Again, you might choose to bring those hands onto the belly. Giving the jaw a nice big wiggle and poking out the tongue or licking through the lips. And allow a gentle squeeze of the eyes closed, and then keeping the lids closed down or softened shut, releasing any tension through that brow. So as you rest here, relax and soften through your Shavasana. I invite you to try and empty the mind. Allow any thoughts that come in just to be. They'll be there shortly for you later. Bring that awareness to the breath for just 2 more counts here. Even sighing through the mouth if you need to take one final release. I want you to no longer count the breath now. Hold no further tension through the body. Keeping that internal gaze to the third eye if you find the mind is wandering. And giving yourself permission for the next few minutes to rest, to relax. I invite you to continue in your Shavasana for as little or as long as your body's needing. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day, or whenever you watch this video, you take a moment just to be thankful for the mothers that are in your life. Namaste. From my heart to yours.